Hello, hello. What is up, guys? Welcome back. It is Thursday, and we are here for another Wedding Film School Live. And thank you so much for being here. I am joined, as always, by Jay. Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing so good. Delighted to be here.
Oh, good. We're back. This is 2 weeks in a row.
We did it.
We're finally
Been
on and off.
doing it right, you know? What can I say?
But, here we are. Yeah, what's new with you? Anything in the last week?
I shot a destination for everyone there. Wedding in Nantucket last weekend.
Never been there. I imagine it's beautiful.
Very beautiful, and really good team. Great planner, great photographer. I got our invitation to Kindred, which is really, really a cool honor. So we're going to that next June. If you don't know, Kindred is it's like a retreat, but for only wedding planners and filmmakers and photographers.
The big three, if you will.
Yeah, and there's only 100 people invited. So.
Cool. Where is that at?
This time, Bend, Oregon.
Oh, cool.
But there are a couple of them, but you have to get referred and all this cool stuff. So it's a big honor, but also I'm really excited about it. I'm getting ready to go to Engage in December. Going to Engage again, and I think in March. So we got a lot of networking stuff. I'm shooting an event on Monday that's like a networking thing, and I don't know, man. I got a wedding on Saturday. Just
the usual.
My job. I have a job and I do my job, and. And in between, I get to do a little bit of YouTube stuff, which is honestly my fun. So if you're wondering why I'm wow, Jay, he's so wild and stuff on Facebook, it's yeah, dude, this is where I let loose. So, I'm excited to be here today. We're reviewing some films. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit how we like to do our film reviews?
Yeah, so our goal here with film reviews, of course, is to just really meet you where you're at, help you on your filmmaking journey, whether you are brand new. We've had people submit their very first films to us, which we always love, all the way up through, people who have been doing this a long time. So we can always be improving, all of us. We can always be growing, learning, etc. So the way that we operate, we are going to watch part of your film, maybe all, I guess, depends on the length, if it's a teaser or something. If you are not a member here on our YouTube channel, we're going to review up to 2-ish minutes of your film. Sometimes we'll go longer if we feel like it, something like that. And then If you are a member, which you can do by hitting that little join button down below, starts at just $5 a month, gets you a bunch of cool things and helps the channel out, of course, as well. Then we're going to review more of your film, more like 5 minutes or so. Again, give or take a little bit. And then we're going to share things that we think you did really well, things that we think, you're just really excelling at as a filmmaker, where we can kind of give you some props. And then on the flip side of that, we're going to tell you some things that we think, in our opinion, could use some work, where you should focus to make your next film better. What's going to have the most impact for that next film. So that's kind of our approach here. We're not rating you. It's also, it's a full community thing. So if you're in the chat, we want to hear your thoughts too. We are not the authority in the wedding space. We got a lot of years between Jay and I, over 30 years in the wedding film industry.
Yes, we are old veterans.
Old veterans. So we do know what we're talking about. But again, a lot of this is thought, opinion, whatever. So we are here to learn together. So what's up, Grant? Good to see you. Coming in with our first film. Are we just ready? We diving right in?
Sure, I got it up. We got Jonathan's, but all right, so while we're loading that up, I did want to let everybody know we do have all our dates and everything set for Clarity 2025 in New York City, which is our annual. I call it it's a retreat. It's not a workshop. There's workshop elements, but it's a retreat.
Yeah, I know. I called it a workshop once, and I immediately out of my mouth, and I was like, "Nah, that's not what it is."
It's not a workshop. It's a retreat. It's a retreat for wedding filmmakers. And if you're interested in hanging out with a bunch of incredible wedding filmmakers in New York City in February, which I love New York City in the winter, but
I freaking love New York City year round.
It's the best city in the world, in my opinion, but I understand if you have a different one. I love it. So we're going to be going to the Beekman Hotel, which is a really amazing, beautiful hotel, and spending 3 days together. We got some special guests we're going to be announcing in the upcoming weeks, but we want to give you guys an early bird chance. If you're listening to this episode, we're going to drop a link later, so stay tuned. You're going to get an opportunity to get special pricing. We can't wait. February 3, New York City, Clarity 25. I want to see you there, Grant.
Grant, that would be a blast. We can fly together. Or we can drive. Want to make a road trip? Actually, I don't. I take that.
No,
back.
I don't.
That's way too long.
No.
It's not a you thing. That's like 16 hours of my time. It's going to be a blast. I loved it last time. Great reviews from everybody who came. And man, just really cool to be around so many highly creative people running their businesses. Like, I'm not saying the shooting stuff is bad.
No, it's good.
I love talking about shooting, but I love being inspired by other people who are creative.
It's just not what we are trying to do. Not because it's like Jake and Nate are running great workshops. John and Nick are running great workshops they're doing other things, not just the shooting, but they're doing the shooting. I think like if you want to go to that kind of thing, it already exists. And so we kind of were like, what can we do that's different, that adds a little bit of variety to the industry? And like kind of just like,
what's up, Jovan?
At the end of the day, I think the unspoken to segment of the industry is always the most experienced people. That's partially because, most of you guys don't really need a lot of advice. You're doing a good job. So we don't want to offer so much advice. We want to give the opportunity to get connected and have, there was a discussions we were having last year at Clarity that I've never been able to have in a Facebook group. That is
very believable.
Yeah.
Facebook is tough.
Yeah. And it's like, vulnerable discussions, like where someone talks about like, listen, I'm struggling with my bookings next year. Like, what should we do? And like, you're actually talking to someone else who has experience. You're not just having a bunch of people like saying whatever. So, we were thinking like, what can we create that's a little different, that's adding some variety. And I think we were able to do it. And I think this year is going to be even better. So we hope we see you there. Yeah. So like I said, Clarity-Retreat. And head over there, and then it's probably not even up yet. It's going to be up in like 5 minutes because I told him to wait a little bit. But I'll let you know when it's live, and you can sign up. And you're not signing up to go. You're just signing up to get a special discount email. So we're going to send you an email with a discount code to get you some special pricing because we want to see you there. So, let's get into the film.
Hopping into our first film, and they are in chat, which is awesome. Coming from Jonathan of Jovan Films. And let's see. Jonathan said the couple chose an outdoor location, but it rained the entire day. Been there.
John, Bobby, can you move that mic closer to your face?
Yeah. Indoor venue was an outdated mid-century country club. Rough lighting. Love to hear your thoughts on how you guys would handle this type of situation, and if you guys would incorporate your own lighting.
Oh, I love these questions. This is what I'm all about, man. I want to actually look at this stuff. Let's solve some problems.
Let's exactly.
Speaking my
language. All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
For a second, I thought that was the ring. I was like,
welcome to this beautiful evening.
Where is this? Did he say?
To celebrate the love
no.
and commitment of our dear friend Vin.
Jovan is in chat, or Jonathan is in chat though.
This is the right film too, right?
I like that very black and white. Yeah, I think
but you compliment her perfectly.
Vin, you aren't the luckiest person I know, but it's probably because
Jonathan too, you're in chat. Let us know when you see the parts that are like the problematic lighting.
you used all of your luck when you found Tammy.
I think it was the ceremony.
Okay.
Today is not just a celebration of our love, but a celebration of all of you. We hope you all enjoy the rest of the night, and let's make a celebration to remember. We love you all. Cheers on 3. Tammy, from the moment you came into my life, you brought a lightness and a love that I've never known before. You fill every room you enter with warmth.
These people love being carried.
Joy, excitement, and I'm endlessly grateful to share this life with you. It's harder than the time before. When I think of the ways that you let me down and hurt me.
I want to ask Jonathan a question in chat before we watch, because I think I'll watch the whole thing. Jonathan, tell me who, not like, obviously the couple, so we don't need to say the couple, but who is this film for? Who are you trying to attract? What are you trying to say about your brand through this film? Answer me that question while we watch it.
Vin, we made it. We're on a journey, and I wouldn't change anything about it. Everything has led me to the person who confidently wants to take your hand in marriage and do this forever thing together.
There it is again.
Are easily the most nice people.
Their first dance, he's just being carried like a baby. He just gets smaller and smaller as the day goes by.
They elevate each other. They challenge and support each other.
So I think that was the lighting scenario.
Challenge and support each other.
Yes. Yeah.
Looks so good.
Did he say he did set his own lights up?
I don't think he specified. I think he was asking if we would have. It looks like he did.
Someone did.
Yeah.
Like the shadow right here.
Yeah, the shadow on him. I would have tried to. Well, we can get into it, but
yeah.
In our review.
Support each other.
Looks so good. As we move forward together, I vow to love you with all my heart, to build a life we've always feel like home, and to love each other and create a future filled with growth, joy, love, and endless possibilities. You're my greatest love, my partner, my inspiration, and I can't wait to see where our journey takes us next. I love you.
standing in front of you and all our loved ones. I vow to keep growing, to be the best version of myself for us. I vow to love your whole self. I vow to be the person you need me to be. Thank you for standing here with me today, and thank you for loving me. I love you.
I now pronounce the two of you husband and wife.
Vin, Tammy, what I see with you two is this continuous search for understanding for one another. I'm so happy that you found each other to share your lives with, and I just wish you have a great day today and enjoy a happy and long life together. You guys deserve it.
I am honored not only to be a part of a special day, but as a person in your life. I'm excited to see the next chapter of your lives as husband and wife. Let's toast the bride and groom! Woo!
Okay.
Sweet.
So why don't you start? And I don't know. Yeah. So infuse fun and express joy into my films. So this is what he said. I want to infuse joy and express joy into all of my films, reflected on my couples and their families. Also to create a repeatable formula that translates into any type of wedding. Okay. That's good goals and good things for me to think in terms of, does the film reflect those things? And I'll start and I'll say, based on your goals, I think film does reflect those things. It's fun.
I would agree.
And it's joyful. And I think a couple, this could be reproduced at any wedding. I do think there's a couple things you can do to clean it up a little and make it feel even more elevated. But I do think the formula works really well. And the thing I'll say is, like, the light is actually really good. Like, you clearly know how to use light. I didn't really see anything in there that was like absolutely horrible. Like, there are some situations where I could say, like, oh, it'd be better if the light was positioned a little better, but I also can't say that it could have been done. So I think in terms of like mastery of light and your, what you're doing with your camera, I feel like you're doing a very good job. I think what my quibbles are more with what you chose to show and the editing a little bit, but I don't really have much to say. I think based on your goals, like this, it looks like normal people having a good time with their friends and family. And if someone who's a person, there's so many people just like this. And when you see a film like this, like, they're like, that's what I want my wedding to feel like. It looks fun. It looks like they had a good time. It's like, they're not taking themselves so seriously. And with a few exceptions that maybe take me out of your vibe a little bit, I think it was very effective at your goal. And I think it's really nice.
Yeah, I agree. I think hearing your goal is cool. It's nice to have you in chat be able to provide that, because I think it is important to approach it from the perspective of what you're trying to create. And I agree. I think that this checks that box. Like, it is repeatable. I think that they are clearly shown having fun. I think some of that is the couple. But it will attract more couples like that, of course, as well. So
photographer too, like, I feel like you were kind of rocking with whatever the photographer's doing, for better or worse. And so I think, like, it's obvious you work well with photographers. When I watch this film, like, that's, I mean, I don't know that couples will pick up on that, but I pick up on that because some of the stuff you're doing is probably not exactly what you would want to be doing, but like, you're just going with the flow. And I like that.
Yeah. Other than that, I think some nice use of light. I think, given that we know the circumstances and that some of it was difficult, I think that you definitely, made the most of it and you made those situations work. And I don't think that it looks that bad. I think I agree with Jay in that there are a couple of things like maybe I would have done this different or something, but like, that's at a point of being picky, and I'm sure this looks way better than what it would have looked like without lighting.
I think you made the right decision to get a light.
I agree, 100% right decision.
That's such a good frame, though. Can we just look at that frame really quick?
Yeah, tears about to roll down.
Look at it's. I don't always like giving everyone all the credit for a shot like this, because plenty of times we compose this and no one does anything.
Or it just happens.
But I think like these little moments, it's nice. Like this is a cool moment. Anyway.
Yeah, you made the most of a lot of like. I mean, rain. Obviously, we've all been there, but it can make it tough. And I will have one gripe about one specific little section, but I will say I really like the look of the black and white that you incorporated.
Paper clips. You can watch all the old episodes right now. They're all up there, except for the one from last week that I did not include because it was a disaster last week. So that one you can't watch.
Internet issues.
But yeah, you can watch the old episodes. Go for it. And we have a couple reviews coming. We have a review coming out for the. I did a 6-month review of the Rode Go Pro. We're also getting.
It was actually tested.
Yes, yeah, we brought it to a bunch of weddings.
I tested it out. Well, this is cool. We do that too. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah, we're actually doing that with another Rode product coming out. Anyway, yes, you can. So let's talk about what they could have done better. So I want to play the first 20 seconds, and I want you to, Bobby, honestly tell me how many shots you noticed that you think should not be included in the first beginning of a film.
Yeah. I'm going to keep track.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this beautiful evening to celebrate the love and commitment of our dear friend Vin and Tammy.
Vin.
I counted 6 shots, which I would have not included.
I had 4, and I also have a 4.5 in that I would have started on a different shot.
I would have started. I didn't even include that one. I would have started on a different shot. I think that the problem with this film is that first of all, this intro.
I love this frame though. I'm not gonna lie.
There's a ton of good frames. Start with this frame. Start with a good frame. Like, I felt like there's a lot of like shots that I'm like, I wouldn't have included at all in the film, let alone in my first 10 seconds. Maybe you show them later when it's like slowing down or whatever.
Yeah,
like
100%.
He's making a goofy face. I don't like that shot. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't include this shot, but I don't really like that shot. It's okay. It feels a little like visually messy to me. You know, that shot is lame. That shot's lame.
The
don't
lights,
like it.
the pouring the drink.
Yeah, like there actually, I think some of that shot is
a couple cheersing.
The
boat.
It's just, to me, you have way better shots throughout the film. Like, those are some of the worst shots in the whole film, all happening in the first 10 seconds. That is like my biggest beef. I think that it's way too long, that intro. I think like it's too serious. I think you could have went fun hype instead of epic hype, and I think it would have been better for this couple.
Well, and like it's serious, but then it's like a random bartender pouring whiskey, and I'm just like,
but it's in like an ugly looking cup.
Well, yeah, I mean it's like, I don't know. You want to have them like pouring a drink. I would go close up and probably not show the bartender, but I would do it in like a hype party section.
Well, and also like
personally, I probably wouldn't do it, but that's just me. But I understand.
The only time
I don't understand it there.
The only time I'll try to do the drinks is I'll try to get a bartender like shaking, something that feels elevated. I think there's a lot of stuff in this intro that actually makes the day feel less elevated than it actually was. Like, so I would have included a shot like this. I would have included the dragons. I would have included those. I would have included those fire people very early on, like all
but not the one wearing the Fortnite sweatshirt.
Yeah, all the hotness. Get all that hotness in there, and then I think you could have done it in 45 seconds instead of a minute and a half.
Yeah, I agree.
And so that's my biggest beef is like the intro just to me feels like a little poorly conceived, and I think once you got out of that hype intro, the film felt better to me. And I was like, oh, there's not that much good shots. Like when I first saw it, I thought the film was going to be kind of lame. And then I watched the film and it was actually really beautifully shot. And it really is like, you shouldn't have the first 15 seconds of your wedding film make your film less attractive to watch. It should be, oh, I want to see this. And I think I didn't feel that
I'm
way.
always like front load. I mean, I think we agree on this, Jay, but I think most people do, but like front load the film with some great stuff.
I have one exception to that, which is,
all right, let's hear it.
My one exception to holding a shot is when you have like a very important moment that you want to drop at a very certain time of the song. Like you're creating a little bit of drama. If you have something that you're trying to do and you're like, I'm going to wait for that pause to show her like, boom, and then she's walking and you slow it down.
Yeah, not necessarily every best shot goes in the, but like you want good stuff in the front.
Yes, and it should be representative of your type of stuff. And then I have one other critique, which is just your shooting in general. I don't think you shoot wide enough, often enough. I didn't see like hardly any wide shots.
I'm trying to think through any wide shots. Yeah.
Like this is one of my biggest critiques about a lot of filmmakers, and I think one of the things that like super high-end filmmakers do that like people who are maybe not as high-end or experienced don't do is like people who are very high-end shoot wide. They shoot a lot of really nice wide shots. People who are like starting out, or maybe they're like shooting more like at the beginning of the industry, I feel like it's all mids.
Yeah.
Which is great. You need a lot of that. But I think I think we were missing a little bit of wide shots. So it kind of felt very much like you're in a couple's face all day in the film. And it didn't really get a sense of like where we were in a sense of place. So I think a little bit more wide shots would have been nice.
I wonder if part of that was like, because I'm thinking through, you say wide shots, and then I'm thinking through and I'm like, I don't really feel like I got, like we had some drone, whatever, but like, I don't really feel like I knew the venue inside or outside for that matter. It can be
design,
maybe explain the outside with rain, but the inside, like where are the room shots and the details? I know we saw a little bit of like some signage and stuff like that, but
there's florals. There's some florals here. This wasn't, even just the first dance. Like it's good to see a wide shot of the first dance.
Yeah.
All their guests in the background. So those are my two things. I mean, they're not nothing. Those are, I guess, legitimate criticisms, but I also think by no means does it hurt your film in the way that.
No, yeah. I think my biggest criticism is similar to Jay's with that intro and just kind of shot selection and stuff like that. I think that I would add to that a couple smaller things. There was, now I'm trying to remember. I feel like there was a random, like I like the black and white with some prep and stuff like that, but then like randomly one of them was like reading from their vow book. I don't know if it was vows or letters or whatever in black and white. And I was like, why is this one in black and white? That felt weird to me. The only other thing that was small that really stood out to me was, so it was like the first kiss or something like that. They were just pronounced husband and wife. And then you're ramping up, you're going into this hype section, and your transition to that is a bunch of fast zoom ins, which is fine, but it's on just like guests at the ceremony sitting in their chairs.
Oh yeah. Where was that?
It's right after the first kiss, right after they're pronounced. It's like, later. It's after this. Right. It's might be right around here. I think it's back. Yeah, like right around here.
Yeah, I think I remember thinking. I just think like some of the hype stuff, just you might not be shooting enough or something, maybe.
Yeah, it's gonna be right here, I think.
Yeah, that's
where I'm just like, that's like, I don't mind that. Like,
the idea was good.
The idea was good, but the shots, again, it's a shot selection thing. I think the shots used for it, I was just like, well, this is random. But
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if there was a lack of decor, I don't know. I mean, look, I get it. Like when I shoot a really high-end wedding and there's tons of decor and there's so much money that went behind designing it, it makes life easier in some ways, for sure.
This is what I'm going to say, Javon. Like I get in that situation sometimes, and the way I shoot it is, I do a wide shot anyway.
Yeah, I do
just
too.
To show tables on the, like flowers on the table and whatnot. And I always try to keep in mind, like the couple thinks it's good. The couple doesn't go like, look at my ugly basic wedding. They're like, oh, this is great. And then I'm definitely going to at least shoot like the table, flowers and things like that. Put it in the film. I think just shoot it anyway. Like just
the thing is like too, look, I might be, I'm not the last standing videographer who still uses this, but I know a lot of people have ditched a slider. I don't use it at every wedding, but I have it at most weddings still. And when I get a really basic room, and when I get a nice room too, I'll do this sometimes, but like with a really basic room, sometimes I'll just throw a camera on a slider, super compressed, 70 to 200 or something, super deep. And then like, you're just sliding. You can show a row of tables. There's a lot of shallow depth of field. There's not much on them, but it still can look nice with the right light. So I don't know. That's my thought there. I think still show it.
I think show it too. And I also think like, you know, it's tough when you see awesome weddings all the time to always remember that to the couple, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I hope people don't think that I think the like fancy luxury weddings are the only cool looking things or the only thing that matter, because it's not what I think. I just think that couples care about whatever they pay for.
Yeah.
And they care about all of it. But the other thing is it just it takes your pressure off your film a little, because it lets you just kind of slow down a little bit from time to time, and use your better shots of people in better spots. And anytime you have more types of content, like for instance, you go bam, bam, bam on that little transition, that could have been close-ups of flowers on their table.
Yeah. Really quick, easy.
Yeah. Like like, I'm not saying that, but it's like every shot you get that's pretty good is better than a person standing in a messy bar pouring house whiskey in a plastic cup.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. So it's just more content. So,
sweet. Well,
yeah, that's
Thank you, Jonathan, for submitting. It was fun reviewing that film. I think it's really solid, and there's some really nice frames.
So we had a question. So he said, what was the best like wide focal length for a venue? I typically will shoot 18 millimeter or 24 millimeter. Depending on the venue.
I shoot for my venue establishing stuff. I am generally on a 16 to 35. And I would say most venues I am not at 16. Yeah. And I hover around that 20 to 24 a lot.
One thing to keep in mind is you need a vertical frame of every event if you're going to be working with wedding planners. Mm-hmm. So the wider you shoot, the better, the easier it is to go for Instagram.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, like, think about your vertical frame for anything that is going to be collabed with other vendors. So like, don't just think about the horizontal frame when you're delivering. And what you'll end up doing is you'll shoot wider and you'll actually like how it looks horizontally too.
And then it's more wide stuff.
I think a lot of filmmakers struggle with trying to imagine their stuff on a bigger screen when they're looking at their small screens when they're shooting. So if they look at it and it looks like, oh, that's tiny looking, that looks bad. No, it's going to look good when you put it on your main screen. Trust me. Like this has been a big change. The biggest change in my shooting in the last 3 years is how much wider I shoot. I shoot way wider than I used to shoot. And, if I'm like with my shooters and we're all setting up focal lengths at a wedding and I'm always like, oh, me and Jared are always debating. He's like, I'm going to put the 24 on. I'm like, no, wider, stay wider. Yeah. Trust me. Like we need it for like the stuff. And like, I still love a 24 millimeter, a 35 millimeter, a 50 millimeter. Like the other thing I'll tell you with details is start with one lens, but don't shoot your details with the same lens the whole time.
Yeah, like, no, I'm always mixing it up.
Yeah, like we're going to start with that 16 millimeter or whatever. No, don't use that Go 360, please. Don't use that. Throw that in the trash. It doesn't, that's a vlogger look. That's not wedding. It's a different look. Like the 360 actually is really cool, I think, on the dance floor.
Yeah, I've seen some cool stuff with that.
I've
never
be fun.
Incorporated it.
I haven't either. I got a wedding.
I will.
I have a wedding in mind someday. Like when I get a certain type of wedding, wedding, then I'll use the 360. But I think just in general, like don't shoot your details just on one focal length. You need multiple focal lengths, and like you need to take use compression. Like if you're shooting bad details and the room looks bad, get a 7200 in a tripod.
Yep.
Compress that thing, open up that bokeh, shoot 1.2. Like just be a shooter. Be a shooter and gain like hide all that crap. It's easy. Set your light up. I've done that. Have you ever shot details with a light?
Yep. I wish I did it more, honestly. I feel like a lot of times I shoot, I'm often rushed.
Yep.
I'm shooting solo a lot these days. Mm-hmm. And then I get back and I'm like, I wish I would have put a light up.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's really nice when I have a second. I'm always like, bring the light over here.
I'm going to say your name incorrectly, and I'm going to do my best, though. Satukana?
Probably incorrect, but
I apologize if I got that wrong. Head over to weddingfilm.school and you click on live review. You can submit a film there. I'm not sure we'll get to it, but you're welcome to.
I will link it in chat, and then we probably won't get to it today. It would be my guess, but we will keep it kind of in the hopper, and we'll get to it eventually.
Jonathan, I hope that was helpful. By no means do we know everything, but this is just our opinion. And my biggest opinion is I think you're on the right track, and I think you made a great film for your couple, and I think the next couple you work with will like it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the real point. So who do you got next?
Up next we have Drew Zavala, and we have no information.
This film is a film that is a film. So
it is.
It's 8 minutes. We're probably not going to watch the whole thing. If you're in chat, Drew, say something.
Yeah, we'll probably watch. I think we'll keep this one a little shorter, Jay. 2-ish minutes.
Yep.
We can jump around.
Well, I must be in luck. When I least expected it, that's when love struck. And you know that Cuba didn't miss.
It's like the same bride.
Like this. When I stop to reminisce, not a whole lot to miss about my past life. Last night I almost wanna flip. Fast like flashlights, all I see is blindness. Running so hard to get away from this blindness. Trying to put it all on, you still loving me. Outside of what's really in front of me. A good thing.
Oh my God, the vibes are immaculate. Everyone is high energy. Everyone's just having a great time. The room is filled with love, and everyone's just having a great time.
Got a good thing going on.
I know Randolph is very lucky to have someone like Crystal because Crystal is just an amazing person, and I think they fit each other so perfect.
My friends, my family, everybody around here is just like, you honestly, it's so cliche, man. It's so cliche, but when you finally are in a moment that you can't describe, I could die right now, and I'll be okay because I probably experienced one of the best moments of my life.
Not quite high school sweethearts, but you've been street smart.
I'm so proud of everything we've built over the past 8 years. I love you with all my heart, and everything we've ever done has been intentional and with purpose and with love.
Love. And I love the way you move it, and I love the way you make it, and I ain't too proud for begging for a little turkey bacon for a little, and you're open for the
One could say some of this is too wide.
Yeah, it's like how funny that this is coming on the heels of our last comment.
But then the wide shots are really working, like the ones that work.
Yeah.
Why don't we let it just play in the background? Talk about that first little intro.
Sure. Do you want to watch like? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we'll just let it go and then. But I think this is. I would never want to make this film at all. Just me personally. I don't like the interview questions, all that stuff.
Yeah, I've been asked to do that before, and I'm usually.
Here's what I'll say though. I feel like you did a good job with that. Like, I felt like that. I wish you would have picked a better background and something that looked cooler and nicer. But that being said, like, I really think it seems like that's who these people are. And I felt like that was good listening. The room details actually looked really nice. I'm glad you shot wide. Even like those full body like group photos, like I love that stuff. Like people shoot that stuff too tight. I like the way you shot that. Like that looks great too. There's a lot of like just, although I'm sure the photographer did not like you doing that right there. But, you know, like, I feel like they're on to something, and I think we can critique it a little bit, and I think help them a little bit and help them with. It's just a little unrefined. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's unrefined. I think it lacks polish. There's like a lot of things that you should really be looking out for, like shooting your own cameras, which happens, but you know, you don't want to be doing that. I think some of the stuff you choose to show in the film is not flattering or nice looking. I think you don't need to include that stuff. And like right here is a great example. You should not be, this is ugly. This is ugly. Maximum occupancy 380, trash can. Like, at the real core, guys, is like your job is to decide what should and shouldn't be shown. That's what we're always talking about.
And I think part of that happens when you're shooting, because if you know that the couple is going to love this moment, right? You know this couple is energetic and hyped up. You're like, this is going to be a great grand entrance. They're going to for sure want this.
How would you have shot this grand entrance? What would you have done here?
I would, if I were shooting from this. Well, okay.
No,
you can't. Let's see.
You can shoot it the way you want to shoot it. You don't have to shoot it the way he shot it.
So I don't know the background. I probably would. I would have shot tighter for sure. I might have shot like from down that curtain line towards wherever that trash can is, kind of. But obviously with that not in there, so when they turn the corner, and on that would have been probably an unmanned camera. And then I probably would have come behind them.
That's what I was saying. I would have followed them in. I would have followed them in with my gimbal.
All the crowd up, woo, you know, whatever.
Your exposure would have been nicer. It would be overexposed at the beginning, but the like usable part of them walking and pipe, like it's just about that intentionality of like, okay, well, I can't shoot my gimbal here because there's exit signs and all this ugly stuff by the door, and it's just gonna be blown out when I shoot out towards the. So where do I get the most usable footage? I would have been like, hey, second person, if you don't have a second, I would have maybe put on sticks, but if you have someone who can run a tracking shot, hey, 7200, punch that in, get compressed, track them in. I'm going to follow them in from the background. Shoot wide, show them the whole thing, show them walking on the dance floor. Like, you could do that. Like, and I think it's just like thinking about, well, why am I choosing to do that? A, it expresses the moment most completely. And then B, I know like there's a lot of unflattering crap by this window, by this door.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just like, there's a lot of stuff in like that you're showing and doing that I think like this shot is very strange.
This is a very strange setup, to be fair, but yes. Looks like they're up on a stage.
I would punch it in though.
Slightly backdrop. Oh yeah.
No, I don't want to see like the pipe and drape.
Yeah. And this like whatever, there's like bunch of cords and stuff in the lower right.
Just like 7200 right on their faces, like get that compression, like then it actually takes a shot that's actually like kind of weird looking and it makes it look like really fancy and nice. So anyway, but yeah, I think there's like, it's tough because I think they did a really good job at a lot of things, but it's that first 30 seconds always with people, Bobby.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, first 30 seconds, it's just important. And I think, there's cameras there. I think a lot of times, I think something that we see happen with a lot of people, especially as they're like really growing and learning, maybe first 5 years or something, is like, not distinguishing that 30 seconds as anything different and only looking at the film as one complete thing, which is important too, but like this stuff is nice. Where was this?
Yeah, it's nice.
And it's actually weird. You know what I will say, and I don't mean this as like a knock to you at all, but like watching the rest of this film, sorry, I have something in my eye, I think. Granted, watching it, with the sound off, whatever, like when I saw that first 30 seconds, I was like, ooh, like there's some good ideas here, but the execution on the way this was shot is just lacking. And then I'm like, where is this? Where are all your good, like all these good shots?
Oh, like, film? You know what it is? He messed up. This is how he shot this.
Wait, what are we talking about?
These are the toast. That's why I didn't use them, because he messed them up.
Oh. Yeah. I'm not saying like show the toast. I mean, I don't know, maybe.
No, like, what we were talking about earlier, where I said like, why did he punch in? This
gotcha.
is how it looks. That's why they didn't use it. This is just
out of focus and overexposed.
Out of focus and bad. Like,
yeah.
There are no throwaway shots, guys. Every single shot should look good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that like I think you have a lot of great shots here that I'm seeing now, and I'm like, man, should have shown some of these earlier.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, so in just what they did well is weird. Why would you do this?
I've never seen this.
I think
will give you that.
Overall, what he did well was, I think he has some, stuff that I think the couple would like. These like reality TV show interviews, and that's some of that stuff is like, this stuff is very nice looking right here. Although the light is a little bit intense and too blue. Only one sparkler goes off.
I had that actually happen at a wedding this past week. This is the first time they went off.
But that being said, like, there's a lot of stuff like where the wide works, but then there's stuff where it's like you got to be strategic with that and like careful what you show. Like, don't show things that aren't flattering and don't look nice. And I felt like there's a lot of that in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenarios where I think you would have been, if you kept the same angles you were shooting, you would have been forced to shoot tighter in this scenario, or change your angle. I do want to say the interviews, I think, are that stuff is, I don't do it because I don't want to. I usually don't have time, and I don't really think I can incorporate it well usually. But I feel like it kind of worked for this, so I think that was good. The hype at the beginning, like that's very much this couple. You very much showed that, they're into that for sure. You represented that. One other thing to work on. Your audio for speeches was pretty rough.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but that was definitely a problem.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that was on you or the DJ, but ultimately it's on you.
So Kalinsky Films, let me push back on what he said. He says, isn't like if you shoot with two persons or more, you rely on each other and you end up with sloppy shots because you don't do your best. This is what I want to tell you. When I am shooting with my team, I am the leader.
Yep.
They are doing what I say.
And I have a second. They are a second.
They are not my coworkers. They are not my partners. Yep. I am the leader. If you go into this situation and you are leading a team, you're the leader. If they do something you don't want, and I'll give you a perfect example. On Saturday, I'm shooting with two of my best people, Dominic, whose actual name is Dominique Wilkins, which is funny for anyone who likes the NBA. Dominique Wilkins and Caleb Detkin. We're shooting, and I was doing some back of the house stuff during ceremony, but I saw some light, and I walked up to Dom in the front left row, and I said, "Go to the back and shoot backlit. Like, I need this one shot." Who shot that? Me or him?
Well, kind of both.
Exactly.
But it's your idea.
Like I'm the one who created that shot. I'm the leader.
Yeah.
Now, he might have seen the light. I don't know, but he's probably waiting for permission to go do it. And I think that's.
I think that if you are mailing it in because you have a second, that's more reflective of you. Like, when I have a second, okay, maybe the day will end up being a little easier, but I don't go into that with a different mindset. Like, I'm shooting the same way, and I just get bonus footage, and I get a bonus pair of hands.
But if they do a bad job, it's your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. Absolutely. Like,
if they shoot something wrong, it's your fault.
All the pressure, all the whatever, still falls on me.
So many times I hear people like, "Oh, I got footage back for the second shooter. It was terrible." I'm like, didn't you watch what they were doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to tell them what to do, and tell them what to expect. And it's not always your fault. Like, if you're very clear and then the person just just walks out and shoots the entire thing out of focus, that's fine. But I do think a lot of times I've worked on teams where the leader has wedding filmmakers are by and large pretty terrible leaders. Like, they're also
honestly, a lot of them are pretty terrible followers too.
Yeah.
People do their own thing, and you want to get hired for what you do. And if you're asked to change that, I think a lot of people don't.
Yes. So I think one thing I always tell people is get better at leadership, get better at communicating what you want and what your goals are. And you will have an easier time communicating to other people how to do it. How you want to handle light, how you want to handle composition, how you want to handle focal lengths, how you want to handle special moments. I think at the end of the day, I would say, I don't know anyone who's shooting significant weddings that are shooting solo.
Yeah.
So, I think if you can only shoot on your own team, you're going to limit yourself. with what you're able to do. And like the weddings I shoot couldn't be shot by one person. They'd be impossible. So that's my 2 cents. So why don't we look at the last film?
Last film coming right up with no details again.
It's weird.
Coming from Capital City Media. And that's all we know. It's all the information we have.
What if this is the best wedding film in the world?
Then we will know by us watching it and nothing else.
I think based on that first frame, there's no way this is the best wedding film in the world.
You know?
Would you agree with me?
I would probably agree with you.
That's no shade on the film, except the only shade I'll throw is this is not the best wedding film in the whole
This
world.
is not probably where I would start the film.
Yes.
But maybe we'll watch it and be like, that was your best shot.
Just as a reminder, guys, go to clarity-retreat.com. We are starting to get that going. If you would like to get a special discount, email.
Clarity 2025, New York City.
We just go on there.
awesome.
There's a little button on there, and you can click on it, fill out your name. We're going to give you just a little thank you for showing your interest when we drop tickets next week. And we're excited. February 3, clarity-retreat.com. Do you want to drop the link in the chat? And I'll start the
Great
film.
idea.
Want to see you guys there. It's going to be amazing.
I agree.
No.
Marriage is so crucial. That shows us how the Creator sees marriage. If you look at Genesis 2:24, it says, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh."
Are you watching this, Bobby?
Nope, sorry, I was getting what I missed. I was getting the
Watch this shot and tell me your immediate emotional reaction to what's happening.
Father and his mother and hold fast to his wife.
That one?
Yeah.
And they shall become
danger.
danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Red alert's going off in my head. That is crazy windy.
I am afraid of that. That scares me deeply.
One flesh.
Yeah. I want to see how it was attached. Maybe it was like
Proverbs 18:22.
Oh, I mean, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's the immediate emotional impact as a wedding filmmaker.
He who finds a wife finds a good thing. and
Matthew,
obtains
I was right.
favor
It's not the
from
greatest wedding
Yahweh,
film
our
of all time.
Elohim in heaven. Ephesians 4:2. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. 1 Corinthians 13:4. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast.
What is the correlation between what is happening and with the audio and what these men are doing?
It's it's the classic background to chugging beer is Bible verses.
It is not proud.
Except for that guy.
It is not.
Yeah.
That guy is so proud of his championship
Honestly,
belt.
it is not proud. Like
He's teaching his
lineup on
son.
that is
He's teaching his
and
son.
there's nothing wrong with it. If I had a championship wedding belt, I'd probably be, or whatever wrestling belt, I'd be proud too. But like the correlation.
Self-seeking. It is not easily angry.
That guy thinks he's going to get the champion. Oh, fantasy football.
Oh, all right. Then it's I get it.
You have to wear your belt.
Yeah, you got to rub it in this guy's face. Wow, that's this is a crew.
This is not very
Love does
Christian.
not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects.
Taylor.
It always trusts. It always hopes. Always preserves.
There's some cool like detail
Love
shots.
never
in here.
fails.
This is just a terrible edit.
Yeah,
there's nothing
most of
wrong
my
with
concern is in
it.
the
There's
edit.
nothing wrong with what they did. The edit and the song are just.
And the dress shot is scary.
In Romans, Paul said, above all things,
All right, should
have
we
an
jump?
intense, unfailing.
Yeah. Still playing that song.
I like some of the color in this too.
There's a lot of stuff that's pretty good about it. It's just
Serve
the
them.
editing, man.
Teach
And that's
them the word of God to be the spiritual leader of your home. That you
Oh
will
my
be
God,
faithful
this
to
guy's
your
still
wife, to
talking?
love and
Have we even seen him? Well, I know he skipped around, so I don't know. But
I feel like I saw him. Let's see this.
oh, okay, I might have been getting that link for Clarity 2025.
please do review the wedding film.
We are currently reviewing wedding films. Maybe they submitted it. In which case, we'll review it probably.
William Chase Morgan.
William Chase Morgan.
Take Miranda Blevins.
Every
to be my lawfully wedded wife.
We are able to.
My lawfully wedded wife.
To have, to hold,
Whoa.
and cherish.
Honor and cherish.
They have ads on.
From this day forward.
From this day forward.
In sickness and in health.
Sickness and through health.
Okay, I don't want to watch this. This is what I'm gonna say. There's the best feedback I can give you is that this is a couple story, and playing the sermon the entire film is not good. You have enough footage to make a better film. Like
I would agree with that. I think that's like,
I can't even like really. It's too annoying to me to watch. Like I'm just listening to a guy I don't know, and like honestly, there's a lot of good shots. This is like weirdly the horizon line is super crooked. I don't know why you didn't just straighten it and post.
Fixable.
Seems like you're either not shooting on a gimbal or you're struggling with the gimbal a little. And then the other thing I'll say is this stuff later in the day, that is not acceptable looking.
Yeah, it looks pretty rough.
It's not in focus. It's not lit. Like to be compassionate to you, I'm sure that this is a gear limitation situation, and so I would just tell you, like, if you need to upgrade your gear, get some lights. That'll be pretty cheap, and then this situation will look a lot better. So I'd say add a little bit of lights. I feel like giving your films like maybe a little bit of fun. Like this couple's fun.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's weird. We're like showing some of that, but it's not really lining up with the way it's being shown or
It's
the way
just
it's edited.
all about the edit. This film is just edited totally wrong for who this couple is. It needs to be fun. Can you imagine if it feels like bam, 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 like a little country? These people are like rednecks and fun, happy, just West Virginia people. Like, let them be who they are.
Yeah, I think I pointed out some nice things early on. There are some good shots, some detail shots I like. Some of the color was good.
Yeah.
In certain shots and stuff like that. And I do think it generally was shot well. I think there are a few things in shooting I would do different. Like, some of the horizon stuff, some of the movement stuff. I don't know if you were on a gimbal and the gimbal
Seems
was just
all
like,
handheld.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Like,
too. And then some of it, like, you're showing, you're shooting, and then you're getting a slightly closer shot. Like I saw it first during the prep for the bride, where you're shooting and then you're moving in. It's just a jump cut.
So I
think you need to change your angle.
You're in chat, so we're gonna do yours now, since you're in chat.
Okay.
So here we go.
I have one more thing to add though. Wait, real quick. On that other film was. I think one of the biggest improvements they can make would be being a lot more aware of what is in and around their shots, and specifically in the background. There's a lot of stuff that I think, like empty water bottles, construction cones, cars, things like that. It was in a lot
I will
of
say
shots,
this
and I
though,
think-
it seemed like one of those days. I probably would have shot most of this handheld and really rough looking, and went with the crowd and made sure I had a fun edit and all this stuff. Like, I think you need to just really think about, like, stop trying to make a film for fancy people and make the film for the people you shoot.
Yep,
and
that's a
I
good
think
way
you'll
to
be
look at it.
better off. And I also think a 5-minute, make your films 5 minutes. Don't sell
make
8-minute
that
films to
shorter.
couples. Like,
Yeah.
until you get better and until you can understand, like, kind of what to include and not include. I think one of the biggest mistakes early filmmakers make is, instead of starting with a 4 to 5 minute film that they sell, they always start with a longer film
They
and go.
always start long. They're like, here's my 15-minute film.
And it's
I'm
just like
I couldn't even make that.
Yeah, like it, I feel like I need 3 days of shooting to make a 12-minute film. So
Mhm.
I don't know how you could. I don't expect a filmmaker who's less experienced than me to make an 8-minute film with way less content. So
yeah.
So this next film is by one of our
11 minutes
people in chat. We're
Jump
not
to
going to
the
watch this
Indian
whole
part
film.
and French wedding.
Yeah,
Give
we're gonna
us the
skip.
time.
We're gonna skip around. So
ஸ்கூல் கிளாஸில் இருந்தப்ப இவங்களுக்கு என்ன ஃபஸ்ட்டே கொஞ்சம் பிடிச்சிருந்துச்சு பட் ரொம்ப என்னை டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருப்பாங்க.
wow, they had child out of wedlock, huh?
Fun of me. எனக்கு பிடிக்காது.
Is that their first look right there? It looks nice. I like that color. It's really nice. That's a weird cut.
Yeah. Okay. Not just me.
Did they pay for an 11-minute film, or did they ask for an 11-minute film, or did you choose to make an 11-minute film? Please give me a little background
These are all
on
important details.
how the film came to be.
Très méchant, très piquant, très moqueur avec elle. Could you wake up the old property, please?
Is this in India? Or Sri Lanka? Where's this wedding?
Oh, hold on. I'll read it. It doesn't say, but she is Sri Lankan, so
It looks like Sri Lanka to me. So
India, he says. I like that shot.
there's a lot of great shots.
Yeah.
The music is not good.
Yeah, it's rough.
Like it's
And if you wanted better music, I would check out MusicBed.
that's beautiful. I do think their white balance looks like an auto white balance all day. Like it's like this warm, beautiful place, and it looks cold. But I do like his detail shot. His wide stuff is actually awesome. Like his compositions, his like camera movements. Like there's some really, really.
Yeah, it's all nicely like intentional, and
that's beautiful right there. Like, that's beautiful. I like that they're the same. I just think, oh, that's really pretty.
yeah, that's really cool.
So good.
That's a sweet hallway.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why they like the film and why it's special to them and why they wanted to submit it. I want to see this stuff over here. You want to see this stuff?
Yeah,
This
let's see
nighttime stuff.
Some nighttime stuff.
Very supportive parents.
Audio is pretty nice throughout, too.
I think.
Oh, come on, dude.
Can my Wi-Fi handle?
No ads, no ads, no ads.
Crazy magic.
The drone, which is nice. I haven't really seen much drone, actually. I think.
No.
I kind of like that. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, it's a good edit. I know we skipped around a bunch, so like story-wise and stuff.
Well, it's a very
you know.
long film, so. Okay, so here's what I like about the film. There's a lot I like. I think I like that feeling of, you know, that being there that you get on this film.
Yeah.
I think I like the way that the people are portrayed. There's a lot of really beautiful establishing shots. It's just this is fun. Like the whole film is fun. Even the parts I didn't really love were very fun. And man, I want to see that camera of him doing that. The pushing he was doing on the hand pushing. That's fun. Like honestly, like there's a lot. Yeah, like this is great. I want to hear this. I don't like some of the shooting choices here, and I think the biggest thing I'll say about this whole film that's negative is every time you ever have like someone selling you something, Bobby, and you're like, okay, I got it, fine, I'll buy it, and then they just keep selling.
Yeah.
And then you're like almost like don't want to buy it now.
Yeah.
I feel like that's this film. Like I feel like you sold us and then you just keep going. Like there's a really cool part, and instead of it being like a really cool part, it's like everything's 2 times too long. And in terms of like watching it and feeling like
they're in chat, but they didn't answer, I don't think. So we'll ask again. Did they buy an 11-minute film? Did you choose to make an 11? Like, could you have made something shorter? Because I think this is good, but I think there's a lot to love about this film. I think it is very solid, but I do think, like, can you imagine this film, Jay, as like 6 minutes or 7? Like, man, it would just be like, there'd be like no throwaway in it. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think I would love to see this as a 7-minute film.
Yeah.
And I would love to see it at least with a non-linear intro instead of like just start. Like, I think the biggest,
kind of show the
when you're going to do an 11-minute film
it
this long, when we do these 12-minute films, this is multi-day. So this, I think you could make a very compelling 11-minute film. We have very clear like sections. I always will do like, and typically I'll do it based on, of course, chronology, especially for when you're doing the weekend films that you make that are 12 to 16 minutes. But I always make sure to start with 30 seconds to a minute of a tease of what the film is going to be, kind of set the tone. And I think if this film had like a really well edited 30-second intro, it would make the film so much better. Because like some of the footage you have is like 11 minutes in, and like that, we should have seen this shot right here, Bobby. In the intro.
Like this whole pool party. I want to see this.
It should be in the
early.
Intro. Yeah, it should be in the intro.
This would be very well served by an overall umbrella of the week.
This frame right here,
celebration. Yeah, this intro.
This is the best frame in your film.
Yep.
There's just a lot of stuff like this. Look, even over here, there's more.
Yeah, a little reflection. You got the cool light. They look so happy.
There is so many good frames in here, and I think just when you're dealing with this many like events, I think if you had a minute intro, it would let you be a little shorter on the rest of the films, and then also like just you don't need to belabor every point so long. You can like move on. So it was really good, though. I mean, a lot of good shooting, and it just like and it could just be differences of opinion. This is just my opinion.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that is all we've got for you today as far as wedding films. You can continue to submit your wedding films, though, at weddingfilm.school, and we will eventually get to them. And a reminder, Clarity 2025. The dates have been set. Join us in New York City, early February. You can go to clarity-retreat.com, which I have linked and pinned at the top as well. And if you sign up to be on the mailing list there, we will be giving you a little early discount. Gonna be a blast. Get together with a bunch of creatives, not so much for a workshop, but a retreat where we can learn, bounce ideas off of each other, learn to optimize our businesses, and really just get inspired, take a little break in the heart of NYC.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast, and I'm really excited. Thank you for everybody who submitted a film, by the way, and all the best of luck for everybody who's out there shooting. If you're shooting this weekend, do a great job. You're part of a really cool community, and we are lucky to get to do what we get to do as wedding filmmakers. So have some fun, guys.
Agreed. All right, we'll see you next week, I believe, and thank you so much.
Bye.
See you later.
Cool. Sorry, that third film, I just was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, no.